Here we go. Hey guys, so this week I decided to combine it, so we have a triple set today of beta, all the beta for the last 3 weeks, so you guys can just look at all of it. I decided to do this because it was a relatively small set for all three, and also there weren't too many complicated-ish problems. And yeah, so here we go. And maybe I'll also go at the end and I will throw in a little bit of alternate beta and also run you through what was going through my head, or just showing you how I go about doing stuff as well. So right now this was just decided to come in. I think these were from the March 9 set or March 8 set. And yeah, so these guys are pretty cool. Little technical, but not too bad as long as you trust your feet and you work your body tension in the right directions. It was generally okay. These were the only two, this black one and red one I think were the only ones set last couple weeks on the 16th, I think 15th or 16th, because I believe they were getting the roots ready for their auto blaze. So for this black one, at first when you look at it, it seems like they want you to do a dyno compression into these coming up black holes. But I went up there, and as I was on there, I was like, oh, let's test it out. And it just seems like a compression-y problem. It's quite fun. And same thing, trust your feet. Make sure you have your tension right. And this is just what happens. You can see that I slip up too, and I just kind of lost a bit of focus and didn't really trust my foot. So here we go, better, second time round. So this one right here, some people might be tempted to match up and try to mantle out, but because it's flat and slabbed, you could just trust your feet, get your body nice and high, and then work your feet. This is one of the first 6 hexes on the overhang. So this was my first attempt on it, and I took a little bit of time kind of trying to read the route and read how to do it, because compression problems require you to just move things in a specific order, just so that you can keep the tension right. So right here, I didn't really plan as far as this, because I didn't think I was going to get this far. That's a bad idea, by the way. You always want to plan all the way to the end, just in case you make it there, and trust that you should make it there. And yeah, see, just once I got up there, I just got a little confused and didn't really read it. And once you got it right, then take a good break, and here it is. Yep, so you can see here I'm a little disappointed at myself that I didn't finish planning the entire thing out. So here's one to just show you a little bit of progress on how to do things that you're not so good at, or do moves that may need a bit of work, instead of just throwing yourself at it over and over again, you go at it in a logistic manner. So I'm not good at these big throwy moves. So I went up there, that was my first attempt, right? And I wasn't quite sure where to hit it. So look at it, so you had to figure out, okay, I figure out where I gotta hit it, test it out, and then go back and try it again. So as you'll see at this time, I went, okay, reach a little further, got up, got a little bit more purchase on it, and figured out, okay, reaching up a little higher and just kind of going up and seeing where exactly I grabbed it, and then try to change it up and try it again. Getting a little frustrated because you know, I figured out that you know exactly where to hit it, but it's all about getting there, right? So that was getting much closer, as you can see. And then this is just running through the problems, getting yourself nice and set up, and committing to where it's supposed to be. I'm not a biggest fan of these one move wonder problems. I much prefer having it to be much more sustained, even if it's an easier problem. Problems like this one are not my favorite cup of tea, I guess, because I don't really like having to climb one really hard move and everything else is kind of blur, you know, a little bland. This blue one was really fun. It wasn't really hard, but it was really sustained. So all the moves were of similar difficulty, and it really required you to think of how to balance your body and where to weight the points. And once you get it right and you have your balance right, it really is not that bad. And just another little slabby techie problem. So the trick here for anybody who's still trying to work on this is right here, when you get your foot up, when you move your hip inwards, make sure you turn your hip and you turn your foot. You see how my foot turns in, right? If you have it opened up, you're just going to squeeze yourself backwards off the wall. So you kind of want to make space and turn your hip in. And then once you've turned in and got the elevation, you just press out and you'll be right there. So here we are at the last set. This is the newest set on the front section. And we'll just get the warm-ups done. It was a pretty small set. I got almost all of it done, and I'm no good at dynos. as I said just now, I'm not really good at really big dynamic moves. It is something I'm still working on, and so for this set I wasn't able to get the black problem, but I did throw a lot of attempts on it. And maybe I'll throw a video up of my attempts on it, but it's pretty boring. It's essentially just me doing like one move and falling and one move and falling. So I neglected to include that into this video. here, okay, here's an interesting one to talk about a little bit. This green one was pretty cool. I really liked it. The little hand sequences. I like this crossover. The holds, I like the quality of the holds. Right, they gave it to you that the quality of the holds were actually pretty good. They're a little intimidating sometimes because they might look a little bit bad. And right here, this move right here, I saw a lot of guys trying to jump out and throw for it when you could do it. It's just really hard. And for these moves, and I saw a lot of people trying to cross hands over top. When you cross hand over top on this move, it's going to barn door you a little bit, so it's going to work a little harder. It's a lot easier when you have a nice big perch to sit on. You just kind of shift all your weight onto it and just sit on it like so, as I was reversing it. Then as long as you're sitting on it, you really can take most of the weight off of your hands and just kind of hip in and sit on your heel. It was a really small set, so I had to warm up. So I was still down climbing this one a little bit just to make sure that I was warmed up. And it's also nice because doing these moves kind of makes me have to like cinch up a little bit, and I just tighten everything up and put a bit of power through. So here we go. I'm on the left side there, and this yellow one. This yellow one was a little trickier. It's a little bit more finger intensive, but at the same time here I decided that I could skip one of those because it was just a little easier to keep the balance. If you held on to those two undercling ones on the ceiling, it would be a little harder because you would have no opposing force. Both of them are pointing in the same direction and your feet are quite far away. So if you caught those and you lost tension in your body, you would just swing out. So sometimes just a little easier just to keep that tension with the other hand and get the foot up nice and high so that you could replace that tension arm while the other hand is going up. And that would solve most of the issues that I was seeing on there. And this is the last one I climbed of this set. I did the blue one. This was really fun, I found. A few sequences possible depending on your height. If you're a little bit taller, you wouldn't do it this way. But if you're pretty much my height, my size or lower, you would probably find it a little bit easier the way that I'm doing it right now. So when you're doing this, the trick is how you hold that first big blue hold on the volume. Right, as you can see, I actually don't hit it on the good part with my left hand because you want to fall into the good part with your right hand. This section here was pretty cool. A little bit shouldery, but as long as you squeeze quite hard with your legs, the move was made quite easy. Okay, so what we're gonna do here now is a separate little section of me doing alternate beta for this. This is if you're a little taller. You probably want to do this. Get that bicycle in, or at least get a foot hook around the corner to get this bump. And then once you got this, catching that is a lot easier once you're taller. I just hopped off to try, and then I had a quick request to show the other one. So right here, the trick is from here where you bump your right hand, right? You don't have to hold onto the good part of it, remember? Just like I said before, you just want to get enough on there so that you can get the heel in that good solid position and pull on that, because you'll be pulling much harder on the right heel rather than having to pull hard on the right hand. So